Hey everyone, welcome to week 7 and 8. So we're gonna get into, I think, some interesting conversation. We're gonna have a chance to be able to think about how we think about students using argumentation, kind of like that claims, evidence, reasoning piece in the work that they do, as well as thinking about how we get them to talk about it. And that's what we're going to focus on over the next 2 weeks. And so in this first week, we're going to really focus on that argumentation piece. And we're going to look at some interesting articles where there's a little bit of a video, a YouTube video, quick video thinking about argumentation in CER. We have another interesting blog post about CER being used in math class, as well as an article on exploration and CER from a professor that I've worked with before at Boston College. She was actually on my dissertation committee, Dr. McNeil. And so in this first week, we're going to get a chance to kind of do those few readings and watchings. And then I'm going to put together what I call a choose your own adventure. I don't know if you all read those books growing up, but they were a big part of my childhood. And I have two different activities. I have a virtual microscope activity that can be used for anyone who wants to do it. And what I think about what's interesting about that particular um, activity is that it's going to give you a chance to kind of do some exploration on your own, some observation, formulate questions, make an argument, and then talk about it in Slack. And so that's a slightly more science-focused one. And then the second one is I say is the math activity where folks get a chance to kind of like go through and do some talk in a video and record it like we've been doing in class and submit that. And although I have one focused as a science one and one focused as a math one, I really want you to think outside of like what your interests are. And so I want you to go through, and if you want to kind of combine the two of them into something else, go for it. And so in that virtual microscope one, I think it aligns really well with the CER framework because it implements CER. A student, you're going to go through and make claims based on observations and provide reasoning. And so it also just kind of like dives into that little piece. It has you doing some critical thinking. And then when you all talk together, there's some peer engagement and argumentation piece. The webcam activity, I think applies to similar principles, in this particular case to math problem solving, thinking about reasoning, aligning with the emphasis on justifying claims in both documents. So in both of those activities, if you choose one or the other or some hybrid, I want you to think about these things in mind and how we support our students doing it. And then in week 8, we're going to dive into talk. And how do we, as teachers, use talk and questioning as a mode to be able to help support and probe students' thinking. And so I bring this one up because our next major assignment is going to be where you're going to plan and act and reflect upon a lesson plan. Then you're going to record it if you can, only for yourself. No one else needs to see it. And then kind of look at the questions you ask and what students do in the interim. So in this one, I have some readings around that particular talk piece. I have some question shells that I'd love to get your feedback on. I've been using them for a while. They're really kind of great way to think about the different things we want to get from students and how we can use questions to do it. And then the activity I'm going to ask you to do is analyze a lesson plan and a little bit of a snippet from someone teaching that lesson plan and look at like what did the teacher do and what did the students do as a result. So that's the major assignment work for this upcoming 2 weeks. Within this, at the end of week 7, I'm going to ask you to turn in your task analysis. And then at the end of week 8, I have that self-evaluation, kind of mid-semester self-evaluation questionnaire where you're going to talk about like, how have I been doing in terms of participation in the class? What grade do I give myself? And then what's happening and what are my thoughts about how the course is going itself? I'm going to take a look at all of those and provide feedback to you all and kind of, it's a touch point that I can have and check in with you all. I'm excited about these 2 weeks. I hope you all are as well. And please let me know if you have any questions.